specialist trained by eBay, which
Right.
is really cool. So I'm gonna just let it go.
Okay, that sounds great. Everybody knows, I'm sure you can tell me, what these things have in common. A digital camera, a forklift truck, and ladies' leather underwear.
Oh, dear.
What do they have in common?
You can buy them on eBay.
That's right, you can buy them or sell them on eBay. They're just about, there really isn't anything that you can't buy or sell on eBay today. As an example, I sell a lot of books for $3, $4, $5, $7, $9, $10. I've also sold a boat for $37,000 on eBay. I've sold automobiles, I've sold stretch limousines. So you can sell anything that you can think of with some restrictions, you can sell on eBay. There are restricted items such as genuine tortoise or ivory and copyright infringement items. You know, that Louis Vuitton handbag that you can buy brand new for $12. Something's wrong there, you know, that's not going to work. So anyways, again, my name is Cliff Lander. I've been selling and training on eBay since 1989. eBay was only a few years old at that time, and very few people used, I mean, it was so new, very few people put pictures of their items up. You just had to guess what it was. And I say that if there was a manual on how to sell on eBay back then, it would have been 2 to 3 pages. Today, a manual to learn how to sell on eBay actually could be as much as 200 pages. Now I know there's a lady here who, I heard her say when she sat down, I hope it's not too complicated. But it's not complicated. It actually is fairly simple, but you have to jump in and you have to experience it. And I often make a comparison to D'Angelo's sub shop, of all places. You walk in there one day and there's a new person behind the counter. And you say, I want a medium cold cuts, no hot peppers, oil and vinegar. And he says, okay. And he goes back and he says, did you say medium or large? I said, no, I wanted a medium. And extra hots? No. No hot peppers, oil and vinegar. Takes him forever to make the sandwich, but he does make it. You go back 3 weeks later, there's 4 people in line, he's making 2 sandwiches for each of them, not asking any questions and getting them done in seconds, okay? It's the same thing with eBay. Once you learn, once you start doing it, you make those first steps, then you'd be surprised it becomes second nature to you. Is there anybody here who buys on eBay now? Really? Usually it's does anybody sell on eBay? No. Okay. This is the old eBay logo right here. See if this works. Usually I can see what's on my laptop. I can't. But what is eBay? What can I do on eBay? Is it safe? And how does eBay and PayPal handle my personal information? Like anything else, you have to give this company, eBay and PayPal, and by the way, PayPal is eBay's bank. You have to give them some personal information. But it is the safest encryption on the internet. Nobody can break into your account unless you let them. Now, what can you do on eBay? You can sell, obviously you can buy on eBay, but you can sell. And what can you sell? Generally, when people start off, eBay says that everybody has a closet in their house where you have items that you don't want anymore, maybe never wanted in the first place, that will return to you an average of $270 on eBay. So you can start with that closet, start with the cellar, start with the attic, you know, the garage or whatever. So to get started with, you don't have to invest a lot of money. That's the other thing about investing money. eBay is a company, and when you start using eBay, eBay is a business. Now let's take a look at some other businesses. Let's look at Dunkin' Donuts or Wendy's or whatever. I mean, the franchise fees. They're exorbitant. What's the franchise fee for eBay? 0. You need a personal computer, you need a printer, and you need a digital camera. That's the most expensive part of doing business on eBay. And probably everybody here has a computer, right? Does everybody not have a computer? How about a printer? Does everybody have a printer? Okay. Does everybody have a digital camera? Who doesn't have a digital camera? Say, wow, look at that. Isn't that incredible? Huh? So, anyways, and so as I mentioned, yes, it's safe. Yes, it is safe. I want to say this, though, right up front. You have to treat eBay as a business, not as a hobby. If you treat it as a hobby, you'll never really do anything with it. You know, you'll do something, you may sell a pair of old shoes or whatever, but if you treat it as a business, you will actually make some serious money on eBay. People are doing it all the time. eBay started in, wow, eBay is an online e-commerce site started in 1995. I said 89, I think that was 98. On any given day, 200 million items are available worldwide. 200 million items. So in your mind, you're saying, I got 4 items I want to put up. How are they going to find my 4 items out of 200 million? They find them. Believe you me, they find them. A cell phone sells every 5 seconds. A car sells every 2 minutes. A forklift truck sells every 4 hours on eBay. A car sells every minute on eBay. An automobile. I have to say automobile. If I say car, then you know where I'm from. So I get it. If eBay were a country, it would be the 5th largest in the world. First would be China, then would be India, then the United States, Indonesia, and eBay. So eBay would be the 5th largest country in the world. Today eBay is a worldwide community. You can put up your old pair of shoes and somebody in Germany could buy them from you. Somebody in Germany could buy them from you. You know, that's incredible when you think about it. I've actually sold things of all, you know, I've sold stuff to China, Germany, in South America, Australia, Canada. The ones that really amaze me is when I sell something to somebody in China. Because just about everything comes from China, right?
Yeah.
But I have sold things to China.
Where'd you sell them?
CDs. Also, an antique sterling silver dish just recently, you know. But somebody in China bought it. They have money, by the way. People in China now have money, so.
What is the difference between this and Craigslist?
Okay, Craigslist is very good because you can put something up for sale and somebody can knock on your door, the person that came to buy it, and they come into your house and they check out everything that you have, all right? It's, you know, if that's what you want. And Craigslist is totally local. Okay, the guy from Germany isn't gonna come to your house to pick up the item, okay? Yes,
I do a lot of selling on Craigslist, but I meet them at a
Yeah.
Metro,
okay,
don't have to.
in a parking lot.
yeah, no,
You
that's
know.
true, yeah.
Or if it's a large item in
Don't
front
let
of
them
me.
in your house.
No.
Yeah.
In front of my
No.
driveway.
But
Don't let them
you,
know where you live.
you're kind of anonymous with eBay and, you know, but, and you've gone from local to worldwide. That's the other thing.
Now with eBay, nobody comes to your house, even if they are local. Is that right? Or not?
Well, it depends. I mean, if, of course, it wasn't my boat, but I sold this boat for somebody on eBay. They came to get the boat.
Oh, yeah.
We couldn't ship it, you know, so. Same thing with, there was stretch limos and vans. Tell you a funny story about a van. This limo company in Fall River was going out of business, so that's how I happened to be selling these things. And he had a 10-passenger van. And somebody bought it, and the man was from Orlando, Florida, who bought the van. And he asked me if he flew up to Rhode Island, to TF Green, if I could pick him up and bring him to get the van. And I said, sure, because I was making a commission on it, you know. And I did that, and I said, I can't believe that you couldn't buy a used van down in Florida, you know, you had to buy one all the way up here in Florida. He said, no, here's the deal. He says, I'm buying the van. He said, but I also bought an antique motorcycle in Westerly, Rhode Island. He said, so I'm gonna drive to Westerly, I'm gonna move all the seats to the front of the van, I'm gonna put the motorcycle in, and I'm gonna drive it to Orlando, and then I'm gonna donate the van to my church. Yeah. So I had a World War II Army uniform that I sold, and the fellow bought it in Maryland. He said, please don't ship it, I'm gonna drive up and pick it up. He said, I don't wanna take a chance on it getting lost. So, you know. Anyhow, like I say, eBay is worldwide. You can sell something to just about every country in the world. You can even sell something to Rhode Island. That's a joke. So, what do you do on eBay? First of all, you have to become a member. Those of you who have purchased things on eBay, you're already a member. And what you've done is you've given them your name, you've given them your email address, and possibly a phone number. That's about it. That's about it. So that's all you have to do to become a member. And to be a member, you can buy things only. You cannot sell anything. Then you have to become a seller. Once you become a member, you become a seller. Now it gets a little more intricate. Now you have to give them some personal information. You're going to have to give them your address. You're going to have to give them a credit card. You're going to have to give them or a bank account number. Now, why do you have to do that? For a number of reasons. The first reason is that there are fees. How does eBay make money? How does eBay make money? If there's no franchise fee, how do they make money? They're creating a sale between you and somebody else, not through eBay. Well, eBay takes a small percentage of the sale as a commission. And eBay wants to make sure that they get their money once a month. That's why you have to give them some financial information. And also, through the financial information, they can tell whether you're a legitimate person or not. Again, it is perfectly safe. Nobody can get into that information unless you let them.
So there's a monthly fee.
It's not a monthly fee. If you don't sell anything, there's no fee.
Okay, it's only if you sell.
It's, oh, right. The other thing is you need to have a bank account listed with PayPal, because you'll be collecting money, and what are you going to do with the money? You got to transfer it to your bank account. So you have that bank account listed, and at any given time you can transfer all or part of the money that's residing in your PayPal account into your own personal account. So what is PayPal? PayPal is eBay's bank. Today it is one of the largest banks in the world. In fact, PayPal, a division of eBay, is larger than eBay itself, the PayPal division. In fact, PayPal is on the way to becoming the largest bank in China. It's just huge. PayPal was started by a couple of college graduates a number of years ago, and just recently one of them was on TV. He was on 60 Minutes. They have nothing to do with PayPal anymore. You know, they're out. They're only like multi-gazillionaires, you know, that sort of thing. And so he's offering, oh, by the way, his new business is he's building rockets for the government, so the government doesn't have to invest money in rockets. He's building rockets, okay? But he's offering certain high school graduates $100,000 not to go to college. Okay.
What's his name? I think I read about it.
You did. I don't know his name. Now here's the reason. You know, he said because there are some geniuses graduating high school that if they concentrated on the sciences, they would add so much to mankind. But if they go to college, they're going to have to take Spanish. They're going to have to take this, they're gonna have to take that, they're gonna have to take all kinds of other things that have nothing to do with what they're really meant to do. So I don't know if anybody's taken him up on it or not, but that's his deal. And how do I have been paid? Oh, how do I have been paid and how do I get my money from PayPal? Okay. When you put up an item on eBay, there will be and it sells, eBay will send the buyer a congratulatory email, and there will be a button on that email that says Pay Now. And they hit that button, and it takes them right to PayPal. If they are not registered on eBay, they are registered on eBay. But if they're not registered on PayPal, PayPal will ask them for a credit card number, they'll give them the credit card number. That takes a nanosecond for that credit card to be approved and the money deposited in your PayPal account. It's that quick. It's that quick. Many times, you will get an email from eBay, congratulations, your item is sold, and as you're reading the word sold, you'll get another email saying you've got money. That's how fast 99% of the people pay for the items they buy on eBay. And by the way, it's the only way they can pay you, is PayPal. There is no other option. The only other option is that they can send you a message and say, I just bought this item, didn't pay for it, and I don't want to use PayPal. Will you take a personal check? And I say yes. I say yes, and I give them my address, and they send me a check, but I tell them a check has to clear before I send the item. It's happened once in the last 2 years. Most people pay with PayPal. They usually pay right away. Every once in a while, somebody will wait 2 or 3 days before they pay.
Then does PayPal send you a check?
No, it's in your PayPal account. You then have to request the money from PayPal to be deposited from PayPal directly into your checking account.
Oh.
And that's free. It doesn't cost money to do that, and it takes 3 days. It takes 3 days. You can tell that it's spring because a fly just went right by my face. What if I buy something and it is not what the seller purported the item to be? Well, there's buyer protection and seller protection on eBay. It works both ways. If you buy something on eBay and you get it and it's not what they said it was, a friend of mine collects these little model cars, Franklin Mint cars, and he paid $60 or $65 for one. The picture was perfect. It came in, and the wheel was missing, and this and one thing or another. And so the fellow said, "Oh, I shipped it to you. It was in perfect condition." So he put in a claim to eBay and got his money refunded. Okay, so it protects the seller as well as it protects the buyer.
Is the item returned to the
Yeah,
seller?
yeah. He then returns it. He could have thrown it away if he wanted to, but he sent it back to the guy, you know.
But if he threw it away, who was reimbursed? Who did eBay reimburse? For that?
The buyer.
The buyer. So if he threw the item away, the seller's out.
Yeah.
So if the item was broken in shipping,
The seller doesn't. The seller, they took the money away from the seller.
right. So then the item was broken.
Right.
So the buyer is reimbursed their money. Doesn't the seller get his merchandise?
Oh,
back?
yes, he's entitled to it, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said the
Oh,
buyer could have.
Yeah, he could have, you don't know, but I mean, this fellow that I know, he sent it back,
Okay.
you know. But even though the seller said he wasn't gonna take it back, he was gonna refuse it. So I don't know
Okay.
how it happened. But I shipped something out and somebody said they didn't get it. And so they put a claim into eBay. And eBay investigated before they came to me to take the money away. And as it turned out, it was delivered. It was like a two-family house, and they weren't home, and the person downstairs took it in. Didn't keep it, just put it down on the floor and totally forgot to give it to them. So that was all resolved, but eBay took care of that for me, so I didn't lose any money on it. Yeah. They're pretty good with that. They're pretty good with that. There was one other instance where a buyer put in a claim. It was not my fault. eBay refunded them their money, but they didn't take it from me. It was done under some insurance program that eBay has. So,
So how is the shipping fee, how are the shipping fees handled?
such as, what, you mean who pays for
Yeah,
shipping?
yeah.
The buyer usually pays for shipping.
So you send it COD or?
No. You can't send it COD. They pay for it in advance. The shipping charges are added to your listing.
Okay,
So if somebody is buying
okay,
something for $12, they see the shipping is $2.75, so they're gonna pay you $14.75.
okay.
And how much do you know, like, if you have an item and you just have to figure out how much you wanna, charge for the shipping, like how much?
Well, there's a process.
Uh-huh.
There is a process that involves a digital scale. You wanna weigh your item, so you know how much it weighs, and eBay will let the buyer know how much it's gonna cost to go to them.
Okay.
It's really simple. It's really very, very simple. We'll talk more about that.
Okay.
So how do I determine the correct price for any item? So now you have this item. Have I got a flux capacitor up there? Does everybody know what a flux capacitor is?
Sure.
Yep.
See, some people know what a flux capacitor is.
We got one.
You have one?
Yeah.
Aha, good.
You want red or yellow?
And it goes to 88 miles an hour? Yeah.
Runs on banana peels?
Okay. The movie, Back to the Future, the car, the DeLorean was set up with this flux capacitor that let the car go back as many years as you wanted it to go back. Okay. So if you have a flux capacitor, how much do you want to sell it for? Well, you may think it's worth $3,000, okay? So you're going to put it up for $3,000, and nobody even looks at it. But if you do some research on it through eBay, you can actually go into eBay and you can take a look and see how much flux capacitors sold for in the past. And you see that they were only going, the most expensive one went for $1,900. Well, you know, it's going to be pretty tough for you to get $3,000 if they're selling for $1,700, $1,800, and $1,900. So you can determine what you're going to price your item for at that point. Now,
Is there a penalty for overpricing, or just a
No.
sell and you adjust your price?
yeah, you
There's
just,
no- Like you could say, it's a one of a kind, and go, it's $1 million. Someone buys it, you get $1 million. But if somebody says, well, it's one of a kind, in condition, and you list all the other things, you say, I'll give you 500,000, you take it, because it's only worth 1,900.
no, yeah.
But there's no penalty from
No,
eBay,
no, no.
overpricing.
Listen, the more money you get, the more money eBay gets. They don't care.
Right.
They have nothing to do with that.
But they don't care if you put it down, it's worth $1,000, you list it for $1 million, they don't care.
They don't care.
Because if it doesn't sell, nobody pays anything.
Right.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. The you know, pricing sometimes, there is, my son is a power seller as well, and he sells, he has a huge business on eBay, and sometimes he said he's got these items that are, there's some up on eBay, but he says mine are like $3 or $4 more. And he said, but that's okay, he says, because when the others sell, he says, mine will be the only one up there. I don't, you know, and it works for him. It works for him, so, you know.
So when you price something, it's priced to sell, but what's the auction part of it? Are you selling these things through the auction or a direct sale?
There's two ways of selling on eBay. One is by an auction, and one is at a fixed price.
Okay.
And we will cover that as well. So how do I learn to sell on eBay? Well, you can call me, and I can teach you how to sell on eBay. And I teach different courses on eBay. I will tell you that that you can actually go onto eBay itself, into their learning center, and you can actually go through everything on eBay. The only problem is, if you have a question, it's not going to get answered. It's not going to get answered. The other thing is that I also teach courses at the Learning Connection in Providence, Bristol Community College in Fall River, and the Upper Vocational Technical School in Bourne, right over the bridge. I put it down there. Wow. You did pretty good with this.
Wish you luck.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna do one other thing on here. Are there any questions?
Where do you ship? Do you ship at the post office? Do you go to?
Okay, that's let's talk about shipping. Let's talk about shipping. You can have, there are basically 3 ways of shipping packages, either through the post office, through UPS, or through FedEx. All 3 are supported by eBay. In fact, all 3 are what you would call eBay partners. Most packages are shipped through the post office. Why? Okay. Number 1, it's the safest way to ship. They have more shipping options than any of the other 2. For instance, you can ship anything under 14 ounces, you can ship it first class. You have priority mail. You have priority flat rate, small, medium, and large, or large. You have local flat rate, small, medium, or large. You have parcel select, and of course you have express. I've never shipped anything express. And the post office offers very good insurance, inexpensive insurance on items if you are selling high-priced items. The other thing is that a very close friend of mine, her daughter was an executive with Federal Express. And she said FedEx is a very, very good company. Very good company, because she has a very good job with them. She said, however, both FedEx and UPS have in the industry what is known as a 20% failure rate, which means either the packages don't get there on time or they're lost. That's a big percentage. That's a very big percentage.
Who was that at 20%?
What's that?
Who had 20%, UPS?
Both UPS and FedEx
Okay.
combined.
I heard it was 2%,
No.
but it was still 2 million packages a day.
Yeah, well,
So 20% is gonna be,
yeah, she said,
there's a lot
no,
of
but
packages.
it doesn't mean that they're lost.
No,
But
they're just not, they
Yeah,
just don't know where they are
yeah.
right now.
Yeah. But I have never had a problem with the United States Postal Service. It is, I always get, the packages always get to where they're going on time. Also, I never have to stand in line at the post office. I print my labels, you can print your labels at home along with the postage right through eBay. Money comes out of your PayPal account for the postage. And you actually get a discount. You pay less than if you went and stood in line at the post office, okay? And so you can have the post office come to your house and pick up the packages the next day free of charge. Or you can go to the post office and not stand in line, go to an empty window and drop the packages off. Also, you can go online to the post office, USPS.com, and you can get all the free shipping boxes you want, priority boxes. They are free. And they are delivered right to your house, free of charge. If you've got a good mail carrier. I have one who leaves yellow slips, go to the post office and pick them up. But that's okay, she's a nice lady. So, yeah, you get all these boxes for free. I mean, listen, that's a big part. Everything everything, when you treat this as a business, everything is an expense. Tape is an expense, paper is an expense, ink in your printer is an expense. So all this has to be figured in, you know, down the road to make sure that your business is totally profitable. Now, as far as the post office or any of the services are concerned, if you have a digital scale, and I can actually give you the name of a company where I buy my scales from, if you have a digital scale, and when you go to list the item, if you weigh it first, eBay has an option when you do your listing to put in what they call calculated weight. And all you do is put in the weight of the item. You don't have to worry about how much dollars to put in, because based on that weight, the person in Bangor, Maine sees how much it will cost to go to them, and the person in Van Nuys, California will see how much it costs to go to them. It could be two different amounts, because this country is divided up into 6 zones. So you don't have to guess and come up with an average weight so that you don't lose money, you know. Because when you do that, 9 out of 10 times, it's always going to be the guy in California buying it for you. Always.
But does eBay calculate then?
eBay then calculates it for you.
Okay.
You don't,
So you really want to invest in a digital scale, sounds
$30,
like. if you're doing
$30,
business.
$30,
Yeah,
that's it.
that's
Will it
great.
weigh something like that? What if you're selling it in pieces?
That's a different situation. You're not gonna ship that.
You wouldn't, okay.
No, that you would call local pickup.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
small stuff that's
Yeah.
easily mailed under, up to what weight?
75 pounds.
75 pounds, okay.
So how would you trade something like that on eBay? You wouldn't post something like that on eBay, you mean, or?
Oh, yeah, I've put furniture up on eBay. I just did a whole room full of Chinese lacquer furniture for a company, individual pieces, 15 pieces, and 11 of them sold. And the person, and it's the same person, and he came 6 trips with his truck and he took them away.
So if someone wanted that in China, that just wouldn't,
Oh,
Makes sense.
you would say local pickup
oh,
only.
okay, yeah.
You know, and when they see local pickup, that doesn't mean the guy around the corner.
Yeah.
We just sold a huge cedar chest to somebody who lived up in Orono, Maine,
Okay,
and he drove down to pick it up. You know, so,
The example you gave about the van and the motorcycle parts in Westlake,
yeah.
how long are you obligated to keep it if he doesn't ever show up? You got paid for it, it's sitting in your garage, you want it out of there, he doesn't show. Does eBay take care of that?
I sold a moped for a lady in Westport. Guy paid for it, he was in Detroit. He said he was gonna come and pick it up. She called me 3 years later, said, is he ever gonna come and pick it up? I said,
So everybody got paid and it's still in?
yeah. So I said, you know what, let me see if I can figure out who he is, and I couldn't, it was 3 years, you know. So I said, I'll put it up again, and
But
it's
is there
sold.
Is there a time period where you would say it's been here?
No,
It's been here 30 days, you contact
Listen.
eBay, what do I do?
No, why would you contact eBay? You got paid.
I want to take it to the dump. Can I take it to the dump after day 1, or do you
Well,
have to
no,
give
no,
a
you-
reasonable amount of time?
Give it a reasonable amount,
But-
in your own
But there
mind.
is a process that you could notify, you could say eBay's been here 30 days, 30 more days it goes to the dump.
Don't even notify eBay.
Okay, just,
You contact the buyer, say, you ever
so
gonna
you
come
want to
and
send a
pick this
registered letter
up?
to the buyer, if it's not going in 30 more days, I throw it out.
Right.
You're covered. Okay.
or resell it.
Or resell
Well,
it.
no, that's fine, I would resell it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay,
Yeah.
But it's
but,
tying up your space.
but I don't
Yeah.
want to sell it.
Doesn't
I
happen
don't want to be loading it
often.
on somebody else's truck, and he shows up with a gun and goes, that's mine.
Yeah,
I want to have some recourse.
Yeah, no, it doesn't happen
No,
very
that's fine.
often.
No, I would imagine it would.
Well,
No.
then
Looks like I'll be able to have dinner tomorrow, so.
could I ask a quick question?
You can ask it?
So what are the tax ramifications with this?
Okay.
You're not a business necessarily, do you have to become an LLC or LCC, or, you know, does eBay send anything to the government about your profits, or?
Okay. It's a good question.
Yeah.
I'm not an accountant. and I can't tell you what to do. However, I will say this, that if you collect $20,000 or more in a calendar year, PayPal will send you a 1099-K.
19,000, they won't bother?
That's right.
That's right.
Thank you.
So,
Right. I'm just telling you what they do. I'm not suggesting
You
that,
didn't
you
say
know,
anything.
I'm not suggesting.
what's the form again that they sent, did you say?
It's a 1099, but I think it's a K.
Okay,
No, 1099 is the personal, it's a 1099 miscellaneous income.
okay,
Yeah,
But you're a self-employed
Yeah.
person, and you can, I do taxes.
okay,
I'm not,
okay, yeah,
but I
Yeah.
do not take what I say as gospel.
Right.
Go get your own accountant, I have
Yeah.
enough to do.
yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
If you receive more than $600 from anybody, anywhere, anytime in a calendar year, you have to report it on your income, it does not affect your taxes.
yeah, however,
There's a lot of howevers.
however,
Okay?
an individual that's buying, even though you may do $17,000 in business, nobody is giving you more than $600.
Well, it doesn't matter, you're responsible for that $600 total
Right.
of income. Whether it's $1 from 600
Right.
people,
Yeah,
or one person at $600, okay?
okay,
You have to put it on your form, they will tell you what the tax is if you can't figure it out, okay?
okay,
So I wanna owe the government $1 million, because that means I already
That's right,
made
yeah.
100.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then I hire another accountant to say, how do I save money, and it's fun. So don't worry about paying taxes.
okay,
Get an accountant, you are self-employed, you're responsible.
Okay, let me tell you basically about the course, though. The course is a 4 to 4.5 hour intense program. And it is relatively inexpensive in the venues that I mentioned. I'm not exactly sure of the price. I think they charge $59 to $69 for the course. You know, and then there's a $20 charge for a manual. No, this is wonderful. Why a seminar when I can learn online or from a CD course I can purchase? Well, that's fine. You can also buy eBay for Dummies. By the way, Wiley Publishing Company, those books are very, very good. But I have heard over the years that when you have this type of interaction, that somehow people actually get to pick it up a little better when they can ask questions and ask very specific questions. The other thing is when I teach a course, I do follow-up work for anybody free of charge. So if anybody needs help, all they have to do is call me, email me, and under certain conditions, I'll actually meet with them. I just met with a lady this morning who took the course at the Learning Connection, and she was having some severe problems getting started. And so I agreed to meet her in Warwick this morning. I don't think this can't be tied into this.
Yeah. This is
I
better.
think it is. I don't know.
This is
I
better
don't
than
know how this
recess lunch.
works. Okay, what will I learn? How to register as a member, how to register as a seller, how to verify your identity. That's basically old stuff right now, but you do want to learn how to verify your identity with eBay because it gives you better options with them. How to research the item you want to sell, how to list the item, and how to finalize the item. Finalizing means once it's sold, what do I do with the item? Yeah, this is doing that. I don't know why it's doing that. This is funny though. Register as a member. You provide your name and address and an email address. You can now purchase items on eBay. Okay, then you register as a seller. You verify your previous information. You add a credit or a debit card, checking account information, and select your preferred method of payment. There is no more ID verify. That's gone. So now you are ready to sell. It's that easy. This is the biggest stumbling block initially. People, I'll tell you what happens. A lot of times somebody will have tried eBay 6 years ago. And now they go on to register, and you put in your email address, and it was the same email address from 6 years ago, and they say, sorry, you're already a member. What's your password? I don't know what the password is, you know? And that could be a stumbling block, but that's when me to the rescue, you know?
Or you create a new username, yeah,
A new email address, exactly. Yeah, that's very good.
Which you might want to do anyway, just to
Right,
keep
just
things
to have it
straight.
separate.
A lot of people do that, they have a separate email address, they have a separate checking account, you know,
Yeah.
and,
So what you're telling us now is a thumbnail sketch of what the courts is.
exactly,
I see.
exactly.
So when we leave here, we shouldn't be prepared to be able to sell something or?
No, but you could,
Uh-huh.
you could, let me tell you, if you go on to www.ebay.com, okay, and it'll be sign up or sign in or sign up.
Mhm.
Click on sign up and just follow the screen prompts. And make sure you make notes as you go along. Write down the names you select. You're going to have to pick a screen name that everybody's going to see. Okay? Then you're going to have to pick a password that nobody's going to see. And you're going to do the same thing with PayPal, paypal.com afterwards. And you're going to, you don't pick a screen name, it's your email address that's used with PayPal. Nobody sees that. But you're going to have to pick a password, and you should use a different password than the one that you use for eBay. And you should change your passwords at least every 6 months. And how do you remember? I remember because I changed my passwords when I changed the clocks. So,
What is preferred method of payment?
how are you going to pay eBay? You're going to pay them through your checking account or through your debit card? Or you can select PayPal. You can pay them through PayPal. A word about safety. Okay, safest encryption on the web. I told you that before, and it is true. Nobody can get into your account unless you let them. For a couple of sessions that I did over at the Learning Connection, I had this form, and I wanted everybody's personal information, and I asked them to put in the password for eBay and the password for PayPal that they were going to use. And I passed it out, you know, and people filled it out. This is after I told them, you know, and of course I gave them all back to them, and I told them to tear them up and throw them away, you know. So if somebody says to you, if you get an email, it looks like it came from eBay, and they say, there's a problem with your account, please log in, what is your password? PayPal and eBay will never ask you for your password in an email. Never, never, ever. Okay? So it's a fake. It's somebody trying to break into your account. I don't know if I can even shut that off. If you sell your item, do you want to get paid? Well, of course. So you go to paypal.com and you go through the same process. You sign up, and they'll ask you the same information they asked you on eBay. Yeah, I know it's the same company, but it's two separate divisions, and they ask you questions. Now, right now, presently, they're verifying your account by depositing two small amounts in your checking account. And after 3 days, you can look in your checking account and see those two amounts. Now, you can't go to the Bahamas on this, you know. It's usually, you know, 7 cents and 9 cents, and they take it right back out again. But now you can go back into PayPal and verify the amounts, and now you're good to go with PayPal. Wow, it's a camera. I don't know why I put that up there. This is old. So research, select your item, log on to eBay, select advanced search, and enter keywords. This is how you determine what an item is worth. Now, not everything is searchable. For instance, you know, Aunt Mary knitted this Afghan 40 years ago, and now you want to sell it. Nobody wants it. And you really can't find Aunt Mary's Afghans having been sold previously. Maybe you can find out similar type Afghans, but generally it's searchable items. Things that, you know, most people know about. A laptop computer, a digital camera, a piece of Waterford crystal, you know, a Hummel statue, whatever. Can I shut this off? Good. The term, and by the way, that does do the cha-ching when something does sell. And many times I'm just falling off to sleep. I hear the
Is
cha-ching.
that on your phone?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, it's on the phone. It's an app, it's an eBay app. So how do you list an item? You have to determine the correct category, the best words for, keywords for a title, concise description, photos. Does anybody have problems loading the pictures from the camera to the computer? No?
You could also do it if you have on the eBay
Yes.
app. You
I
can,
know,
yeah,
I can.
you can just take the picture
Yeah.
and then load it right up.
yeah,
Yeah,
On your phone?
on your phone.
yeah, from your phone, yes.
So get the eBay app.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Is that-
And it really is idiot-proof. It sort of tells you, you know, exactly what to do.
Where do you get it from? eBay?
eBay, well,
free.
do you have a,
Smartphone?
smartphone?
No.
Tablet.
Do you have a dumb phone? Because if you have a smartphone, it's an app and you can get it from the Android phone or iPhone.
I still prefer doing it from the computer, but nevertheless.
A lot of times what I do is when I sell on Craigslist, I'll look for a photo of the item on eBay
Yeah,
and I'll copy that. But now Craigslist is saying as of July 1st, they're not gonna allow you to do that.
because eBay won't allow you to do it.
Is that why?
eBay says no more, if it's a used item, you can't use a stock photo. It has to be a photo of the exact
the-
item.
yeah. The real item,
yeah.
As of,
July 1st. I
July
think it's
1st, I
saying.
think, yeah. Also, every listing has to have a picture,
Oh, okay. Whereas Craigslist, you don't.
and it has to be at least in the widest part, at least one part has to be at least 500 pixels wide, or they'll shut it down. You have to tell them about a return policy. eBay demands that there's a return policy. It could be you don't accept returns, or you accept returns. It's one or the other, you know. Reminds me of a story about the old timer on the airplane, and the flight attendant said, would you like lunch? And he said, what are my choices? And she said, yes or no. So you have to have a return policy. If you're going to have a return, you have to have a return policy. If you accept returns, it has to be a minimum of 14 days, no more 7 days. It's got to be 14 days or more. You can say you'll take them in 30 days or 60 days, but 14 days is the standard. You have to put in your shipping information. Here I've got costs, but you can do the calculated way, and so you can put in the weight rather than the cost. And finally, of course, the price of the item. Now,
I think it's on the PowerPoint clip. You get sound animation on the PowerPoint slide, so every time you click it, so it's embedded in the.
oh,
Oh, yeah, it's not
I
on
didn't
your
do
phone,
that.
you did it.
I must have done it, huh?
Wow.
Wow. Okay, so when it is sold, how do you ship it? Where do you get shipping supplies? When to ship, insurance, and feedback. Now, let me tell you about this. I already told you what I think is the best way to ship, is through the post office. As far as shipping supplies are concerned, you will probably need items other than the free boxes. The free boxes from the post office are only priority mail. If you have items that you want to ship first class, like a CD, you probably want to get puffy envelopes somewhere. Now you can go to Staples. There are a number of places where you can buy those types of supplies. You can get bubble wrap, peanuts, tissue paper, plain paper for your computer. These are things that you're going to need to buy. Up until recently, I was buying all my extra supplies from a company called Atlantic Twine and Paper in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And you could order whatever you needed, bundles of boxes. You could get a bundle of boxes, corrugated boxes, for less money than what 5 boxes would cost you at Staples. You get 20 or 25. But now I think they're going to like a $250 minimum. But there are other places. There are other places, and you can check it out. I haven't checked it out recently, but I'm going to do that. And the reason why is, between my son and I, we do meet that $250 minimum, so I haven't had to look for other places. Somebody told me Union Paper in Providence, you can go in and buy exactly what you need. You don't have to, there are no minimums. Yeah.
You said you could do the calculated weight, so if it weighs 9 point something ounces, you put 10 pounds in.
11 pounds.
11 pounds something for the box.
Yeah.
Can you charge handling, or would you just
There
charge
is-
more for your item?
There is a spot where you can put in handling fee, if you want. Personally, I think that buyers would be upset if they see that you're charging them a handling fee. So rather than put the 8-pound item in for 10 pounds, maybe I'll put it in for 11 pounds.
Okay, but as an example, say you were selling the boat,
Yeah,
and it's a boat that can't go over the road on trailer, it has the
Right.
guys to come in. You can get a quoted price to say, that the boat can be delivered for this amount, contact such and such.
oh, if there's a
Yeah.
delivery charge,
No, but
yeah,
I mean, like, it can't be lifted by 2 people. Suppose you're selling a safe.
right,
The safe is the size of that gray container,
yeah,
but it's gonna take 12 people to lift it, and you gotta carry it up 4 flights of stairs, okay? So you can say it's in place, call this company, and they will deliver it to you for this
Oh,
price.
yeah, yeah.
You can state that in the ad.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, on the stretch limos,
Right,
I did put in the number of a car carrier
right.
for people to call if they didn't want to come and get
Or if
the,
you had a car that was on blocks
right,
and no wheels,
yeah,
you find out what it's gonna cost, or estimate, and say, call this guy, he'll tell you what it costs. to
Right.
lift it. And then-
exactly.
So, okay.
Yeah, you leave that up to the
But
buyer.
you put all that in the ad?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
And then you said, on your return policy, can you have like one item on your thing that says, no return policy, it's a one of a kind, it's grandma's heirloom,
yeah,
either buy it or don't, but then say you sold new widgets,
yeah,
and you give them a 30-day policy.
yeah.
You don't need 2 companies, you can do each item individually.
Each item individually,
All
yeah.
under one name.
Yeah, exactly,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And then you have to, there's feedback. Now, I've been with eBay quite a while. eBay is a terrific company, they really are, but if they have one wart, just one, it's feedback. It wasn't always this way. As a seller, you can only leave a buyer positive or no feedback. Okay? However, the buyer
Buyer.
can leave you positive, neutral, negative, or no feedback. Plus, there are some, what they call detailed seller ratings, where they can give you anywhere from 1 to 5 stars. 4 stars not being great as far as eBay is concerned. eBay wants all sellers to get 5 stars. So-
In the same breath, if you're buying something and there's less than 5 stars, you just say away, or?
Well, as
Yeah,
a,
maybe
as a
anything.
buyer, you're really not gonna see their stars.
Well, who sees that? Suppose somebody rated you 3 stars.
The stars are strictly internal for eBay
Okay,
to determine whether you're a top-rated seller or not.
right. So let's say,
Okay, but
let's say
the
they're all
feedback,
5 stars and it's consistent 2 star, 1 star, 2 star. eBay takes care of that by
Right,
on the goal.
right,
Okay, that's
right.
That's fine.
now, I went, yes,
I was gonna ask about insurance.
okay.
Do you charge insurance?
eBay says you cannot say that insurance costs X amount of dollars, but you kind of incorporate, and first of all, what are you gonna insure? You're not gonna insure a $7 item. You're not gonna insure a $50 item. A $500 item, yes. An $1,800 item, yes, you may want to insure it. And the insurance is actually fairly inexpensive, but it has to be incorporated into the price of your item. It's that simple.
Wouldn't you insure a breakable item even if it only is $10? No?
Self-insured. If it's breaking, you gotta refund it, it's only $10.
Well, that's when you're, doing what you're doing and $10 isn't a big hit.
Yeah, but
It's not worth
it's
the
not worth buying
the
insurance
percentage
for,
that you
yeah.
put into it, yeah, okay.
yeah. Would you do that?
No.
Okay,
Can you prove it wasn't broken when you were arrested?
no.
Yeah, see,
Okay.
all that's-
No. I had a, what's the name of that? This comes from Japan, it was like a pottery thing that I sold, and a fellow said it came in broken. And, not that I didn't believe him, but I said, do me a favor, just send me a picture of it broken. And he did. So, it was broken.
Was it insured?
That one wasn't, no.
Mm.
I took does anybody know who Felipe Stock is? Okay, he's a very famous designer. He designs hotel lobbies, he designs ashtrays, you name it. You can look him up, Google. Stock is S-T-A-R-C-K. So a lady gave me a Felipe Stock vase or vase to sell. It was signed and it was numbered, and it was huge. It weighed about 40 or 50 pounds. It was a huge piece of sheet glass with a glass horn attached to it, and it stood up, and that's where, and she wanted $4,000 for it. I said, okay. So now I got it home, and I put it up on a table and did it so I could photograph it, because clear glass is not an easy thing to photograph, so you gotta play around with it. And I'm telling you, I got the best pictures. I was so proud of myself, really. And I took the thing and I went and put it down on the floor and I kicked the tip of the vase and I broke it. So,
And you bought it or you were selling it to them?
I was selling it for this person,
Okay.
and she lived in Connecticut, but I knew her. She was a good friend of mine. I came from the jewelry business, and I managed the jewelry store, and she managed the same company's jewelry store in another town. We were close friends. And she got divorced, and she moved to Connecticut, and she wanted to sell all these things. So I know that if I called her and I said, Maria, I broke the vase, here's what she would have said to me. She would have said, forget about it. Forget about it. And I would have felt this big. So instead, I called her and I said, there's a couple of people interested in it. What's the least amount of money you'll take for it? She said $3,000. So I wrote her a check for $3,000. I still have it in 2 pieces.
Can you repair it?
There's a place in Newton called Treffler's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna bring it there. And they told me when I spoke to them on the phone, by the way, I've had it now, it's like 2 years since this happened. They told me that they can repair it, but you will always be able to see where it was repaired. So if I estimated from what they said, it's gonna cost me like $200 or $300 to have it repaired, and I can probably get $800, $900, maybe $1,000 for it. Not on eBay. I have an antique shop where the woman says that she has customers that will buy that in a heartbeat, so. Anyways,
How much you want for it as
as is,
is, right now?
$500.
Maybe.
Okay, so feedback. Now, so if all you can do is leave positive feedback or no feedback for the buyer, I mean, why do you even want to do that, you know? Because there are a lot of people, all they do is buy. So they always have 100%, all right? And if they sell, they probably have two different accounts. They have an account that they do all their buying from, and the account that they do their selling from, and you're not gonna know how to find them, okay? So you're not gonna know, all right? So why? I'll tell you why. Because if you leave them positive feedback, they see that. They say, that's okay, I'll leave this person positive feedback. So you want to get as much feedback as you can. You never want to ask anybody to leave you feedback. Never ask anybody to leave you feedback. Because they say, oh, really? I'll give them some feedback, you know? The other thing that you never want to do is, you never want to put a fragile sticker on your package. Never put a fragile sticker on your package.
Why?
Because there's gonna be some guys that
UPS
say,
guys.
oh, fragile, let's drop kick it into the back of the
That's the
truck.
first one they drop.
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
They put it in the bottom
Oh,
of
yeah.
the truck and put 800 pounds of stuff
Yeah.
in it.
But
To see how fragile it is.
But at the post office, they'll say, is it fragile, and they'll put fragile right on it.
So you say no. If you pack it right, you don't have to worry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I never, is it liquid, perishable, fragile, this, dangerous, will it blow up? It's, no, everything's good. No. And when you print your labels, they don't even ask you that question. You walk in, if you're gonna bring it to the post office, you walk in, just pile the packages up on an empty spot and go home.
Question,
Yes.
is there any way eBay can, or a buyer can rescind negative feedback?
Yes.
And then give you positive feedback?
Yes, but it has to be with the agreement of both parties. Somebody leaves you negative feedback. You think it's wrong. You ask them, will you take it back, you know, and they say, no. That's it. End of story. Somebody left me a negative feedback one time, and it was nasty, and that's against eBay policy, okay? And eBay would not take it down.
They
left it.
They did.
Yeah.
So I had 100%, doing great, and then this one guy just automatically gave me negative feedback without even contacting me.
Isn't that something?
And, which is really, I mean, one negative feedback, I think it went to like 97 or 95 or 96% or something.
No, 99.8.
No,
Just one, well, how many feedbacks did you have in total?
that's 200 and.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why.
It's low. But still, so I asked him, like, you know, nicely,
Yeah.
why did you give me negative feedback? We could actually have worked this out. And I ended up working it out with him. He sent the item back to me. I paid for him to send the item back to me.
Right.
I refunded him completely.
Yeah,
And he had said that he would give me then positive feedback, and it's still on there. And this was like 6 months ago.
well, first of all, now it's too late for him to do anything, but he should have requested, he would have to contact eBay, there's a way of doing it, and saying that he would like to rescind the eBay, the negative. And eBay would contact you, is it okay? Obviously you say yes, and then
Yeah.
it would happen. But listen, that stuff happens. I bought 2 pairs of jeans at the Eddie Bauer outlet in Boston, downtown Boston. And at the time, my waist was a 38-inch waist, and my actual inseam is 31 inches, but they don't have 31, so I had to buy 32s. So I bought the 32s, I immediately took them to a tailor, had him take an inch off of the bottoms, cost me an extra $6. I think I paid $19 a pair for them, plus $6 to have them shortened. Hung them in the closet, I don't know why, but it was a whole year, maybe 2 years, and I'm looking through the closet, and son of a gun, there they are, still with the tags on them.
So you sell them, and then the person said they're short, they're not 31.
No, no.
Oh, all right,
Yes,
sorry.
in a way,
Yeah.
but here's, so the tags say 38, 32. So I put them up, both pair for $19, okay? And I say they're brand new. I said, however, the tags say 38 by 32s. I said, I did pay $6 a pair to have them reduced to 31 inches. Because in the title I put 38 by 31. I said, these are 31, have 31-inch inseams. Some woman bought both pair. I saw, well, it was one listing. It was $19 for 2 pairs. Sold for like half price. I get a message from her. You said that they were 38 by 31s, and they are clearly marked 38 by 32.
Oh.
So I wrote her back and I said, don't you see, this is, you know, and she wrote me back again. She said, these are for my brother, and he only has a 31-inch inseam. It's like she didn't even pay attention to what I wrote, and she left me a negative feedback.
Oh,
You know? But she
Now-
kept the jeans.
Now, the negative feedback, can other potential customers
Yes.
read that?
Yes.
So that's how they know whether you're
Yeah.
reliable or not?
Yeah, but when they see somebody like me that's got over 3,000 feedbacks and I have one negative,
But how do you identify, how do they know that you're the person, you got the negative feedback? And how do the potential buyers know, they don't know your name?
no.
I mean, how do
but
they associate that with
Your
other-
feedback number is right next to your screen name, and they click on that, they can see what your feedback
Oh, I
looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's
So,
pretty.
so how long after, so same situation, you sell those jeans. How long after is
1
your?
year.
No, is your ad available to be printed? So somebody could print it, that ad, and it said clearly, mark 32, but measures 34.
If they could find it, if they could
Okay,
find the
but-
item,
No, but couldn't you, as you sell it,
yeah,
you hit control print, you print the picture of that ad as it read.
yeah.
Then you send it to eBay and said it says clearly, it's not worth the effort?
No.
Okay, no, it's fine.
No.
Because you can prove your case,
Did
but
you
it's
consider
for no reason.
changing it on the little label, 31? Or didn't even dawn on you?
Didn't even dawn on me
Yeah,
to do that.
yeah.
I would cut the 32 off and just say
Yeah.
38 ways.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
No, but you know the
I
next time, you didn't do
I know.
it again, right?
Right, well, I
So
didn't,
you learned the lesson.
I didn't buy any jeans that were too small for me
Yeah.
again, you know? So, it's, I mean, there are various things, you know, some funny things that happen. I sell a lot of sterling silver religious medals, and every one that I photograph photograph with a quarter next to it, so people can see the relative size. So a woman buys this big oval medal from me, and I send it to her, and I get a message from her, she wants to return it.
She wanted
And
the quarter.
right away, no, and right away, and the way I handle this is, I don't ask her why first. I say, absolutely, yes, you can return it. And then I say, then I want to know, is there something wrong with the medal? And she writes me back a message, she says, I thought it was round. So now I'm thinking, because I can look at it. I say, look, it's oval, it's a quarter next to it. So I refunded her money, you know, and then ultimately I sent her a thing, I said, when you looked at it and you saw the quarter next to it, didn't you think that it was oval? Here's the best answer in the world. I thought it was camera distortion. Anyways,
Oh, boy. Oh, wait, one, sorry,
Oh,
one
go
more
ahead.
question.
Yeah.
Any questions? You used to be able to respond to negative feedback.
yes, you can. You can still respond to negative feedback. It goes underneath your negative feedback.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, but don't use bad language.
No.
But kind of like Paul Harvey, the rest of the story.
Yeah, yeah. Let me tell you something. I still say that eBay is a fabulous opportunity to make some money. My son was a Staples manager for 16 years. And when Circuit City went out of business, and he was making very, very good money with Staples. When Circuit City went out of business, they dumped a bunch of these young managers out on the market. And so they replaced a lot of the managers for half the money. And he was doing a little bit of business on eBay, and he said, you know what? He said, I got 2 small kids at home, they go to daycare, you know. And he said, my wife has a fabulous job, she's, you know, got a very good job, big money. He said, I'm gonna stay home and I'm gonna just do eBay full time. And I can send as many as 25 or 30 packages a week out on eBay. He can send 40 to 50 a day. You talk about a system. Oh
So
my
is he
God.
selling for somebody else?
Basically, he is, yeah. He has 3 major clients that he works with, you know. And that's the other thing with eBay. You don't want to go invest money and buy product to sell. All you gotta do is find 1 or 2 people that want you to sell stuff for them. You just mentioned, hey, I do business on eBay. Believe it, I'm telling you, it grows.
And what kind of a percentage can you get from their sales?
30%.
30%?
And eBay encourages this.
They have a whole section called trading assistance where you
And
can
how
register.
long before it hits your PayPal account do you have to give over the money?
I do it once a month.
Okay, but is there like a time period, well, let's say you sold it, you got paid, it's in a PayPal account, maybe yours, maybe theirs. Then they.
It's not gonna be in theirs, it's gonna be in your
It's gonna be yours,
paper.
okay. So then they dispute it, you send that.
How are they gonna dispute
No,
it?
I'll finish. So let's say you didn't break the vase, taking a picture of it.
Yeah,
You shipped it and it showed up broken.
yeah.
So you got the money, shows up broken, now it's a dispute between whether you shipped it or they shipped it, it's broken, it's in dispute. You have somebody's money. Can you still spend your commission, or do you have to wait for the deadline?
No, you gotta, first of all, you gotta return, maybe,
Right,
if I sold that, somehow I would have insured it.
right, oh, no, I understand,
Yeah.
but I mean, you're talking like but I mean, my question is, are you obligated by eBay to give the money in a certain amount of time, or you would wait until
If
it's
you,
delivered, like, let's say it's the boat you can't move,
yeah,
till it's in their possession and in the water and doesn't sink, then you release the money. So you could put the parameters on it? Or
Yeah, oh,
say-
yeah, you can do
eBay
that.
doesn't say it's 14 days.
no,
And
eBay,
then
no.
on the 15th day, the boat sank, and
No.
everybody's going to jail.
Yeah,
Cool.
no,
Okay,
no.
no, that's fine, so it's per circumstance.
Yeah, exactly. Any other, yes.
What would you do if somebody gives you something to sell? You take your, time and effort and whatever, taking pictures of it, putting it online, doesn't sell. Now, do you charge this person anything? No, you just charge when you sell
Right.
something.
Right.
And what if it's like a small ticket item, or do you not take small ticket items?
Well, I don't take small ticket items anymore, but I used to.
But, so it would be 30% whether you're selling something for $50, or 30% whether you're selling something for $5,000, or do you have a sliding scale?
No, I have a sliding scale, that's right, that's a good question. The $37,000 boat, I didn't take 30%. I would have loved to, that would have been wonderful.
So how
But
do you
it's a
slide
flat
it
fee.
to-
I discuss it with the person ahead of time. So if somebody has a car they want to sell, they want $7,000 for it, so I may say, okay, $250. And they say, okay, if it sells.
So it just depends on what the item is and.
Right, and the person
you
you're
don't
dealing
have
with.
a-
And the person you're dealing with.
So you don't have a distinct policy?
No,
It
I
just
could
depends on the
probably,
person.
yeah, I could probably
Mhm,
come up with one if I had to.
mhm.
But usually that's never, you know, that doesn't get to be a problem. Any other questions? Yes.
You said you were gonna get into the, the auction versus the direct sale.
Okay, I don't think there's any more here. Oh, why did, I can't believe I put that up. That's, yeah, my high school was so tough. We didn't have a school nurse, we had a school coroner, you know?
Is that Rodney Dangerfield?
Yes, I think it is.
His paper had an obituary section.
Right, school paper. All right, there are two ways of selling on eBay. You can sell either on an auction basis or on a fixed price basis. Let's talk about auctions. An auction has to start at a minimum of a penny. Okay, so if you're listing an item and you want to sell it as an auction, the cheapest that you can put it started at is a penny. Remember, if you start your price very low on an auction, you stand the chance of not getting what you want for it. For instance, you have an item, you'd like to get $25 for the item, but you know that a low starting bid will encourage bidding. So you put it up for $2, and the bidding starts in and it goes up to $7. The auction is over, you've sold the item for $7.
Is there a certain amount of time for the cutoff?
Usually, well, 7 days is usually the default for an auction, 7 days.
So if nobody bids higher than 7, then it's done?
It's
A
done.
done deal?
You
Yeah.
can't
But you
reject.
can set, but you can also set a minimum. Like you can put it on for 99 cents and then set a minimum that the buyer doesn't see.
Right. She's talking about a reserve. That's another option. I'm going to talk about the reserve also. But also with the auction, you can do a buy it now. So you put it up for $5 and the buy it now has to be 30% higher than the initial price. So you do, starts at $5, they have a buy it now for $30. Somebody can either bid on the item or they can do a buy it now right away and buy it immediately. What happens in that case is if somebody bids the initial $5 on the item, the buy it now disappears. It's gone. There's no more buy it now. Now there is a reserve. You have an item, you started at 99 cents. You have a reserve for $35. Only you and eBay know what that reserve is. The bidding goes up to $18, $19 and the auction is over, it's not sold because the reserve has not been met. Now you can do a combination of all three. You can do an auction with a reserve and a buy it now. And the buy it now will be greater than the reserve. In that case, the buy it now remains in effect until the reserve is met. This is something, we go into this in detail in the class, okay? So that's how an auction works. A low starting price encourages bidding, high starting price discourages bidding.
How
Okay.
long can something sell on eBay if it doesn't sell? How long do they
You can
allow?
keep putting it back up forever.
It can
if you
just
want.
stay on forever?
Yeah, you have to relist it.
Oh, okay.
No, but I think there's a certain amount of times that you could relist something before they say, all right, you've listed this however many times. And that happened to me actually with
Really?
somebody gave me this Hermes scarf. And I couldn't sell it. And I had a reserve on it and I couldn't sell it. Put it on again, couldn't sell it, put it on, I think I put it on 4 times. And I'm like, I'm gonna sell this thing. And eBay said, you know what, you put this on 4 times in the last however long, you gotta take a break. And I did, I had to take a break, like a 30-day break or something, and
You
then
know what?
I
I've never-
relisted it again.
I've never heard that.
Probably
You've been
because
successful.
you sell everything that you list. as
No, I
opposed to
don't.
just
I don't, but that's interesting. But now, for a fixed price, you determine how much you want for the item. You want $35 for it, you put it up for $35, okay? It stays up there for 30 days. Then at the end of 30 days, you can relist it if it doesn't sell. Now, there's one other thing you can add to a fixed price. Make an offer. So now, you put it up for $35 or best offer. Somebody offers you $2 for the item, you don't even, you just ignore them. I used to answer them, I don't even answer them anymore. I just ignore them. But if I want 35 and somebody offers $32 for it, I'll think twice about it. I'll say, that's not bad, I think I'll take it. So you can accept it. If you accept the offer, immediately the item is sold. Immediately the item is sold. And then the person will pay for you.
Do you know if things sell better, I'm talking about in clothing now, with lots, like large lots, or just sort of individual pieces of clothing?
There is a lady on the east side of Providence who only sold used or pre-owned, we don't like the word used, pre-owned ladies' sundresses. She would go to Savers and to Salvation Army stores, and she would just buy sundresses. And her last year in business doing that, she earned $65,000. Sold them on eBay. Unfortunately, she got very sick, and she hasn't been able to work at all, do anything. But she never sold them in lots. She always sold them one at a time. So she would go in when they had their half price day, she'd pay $3 for something, and she'd sell it for $18, $19, you know? And, while somebody locally, the other thing that you have to understand is we live in a very cosmopolitan area. I mean, you can go from town to town, sometimes you don't even know you're crossing the town line, okay? And from state to state. Most people in this country live in areas where it's 50 miles to get to the nearest Walmart, And so they now use the internet. They use it quite a bit to do all their buying. Any other questions? No questions about my high school, though.
No. Are there any eBay stores anymore?
You know what, I haven't seen any recently. There may be some. Here's the problem with the eBay store. You're talking about the brick and mortar store.
Yes, yeah.
Is that they were charging 60% and 70%. And not that they were gouging you, but they had overhead, they had electricity, they had all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they had to. And people decided that they didn't want to give away that much money. So a lot of them have closed up.
There used to be one in Sudbury
There was one in North Attleboro.
on Route 20. And that was a place where you could take things, right?
Yeah.
And they would sell it for you.
Yeah.
The concept was great.
Yeah, I think there are some, the UPS stores are franchises, and I think there's one in Westport that will take stuff and sell it for you, because they have somebody in the back room that is just working on eBay, I do some work for a couple of stores. I do work for a women's clothing store in Providence and a jewelry store in Westport. And I go in there once a week for about 4 hours in each store. And I sit there and I put all their stuff up on eBay for them.
And they package and ship it, you just.
They package and
you
ship
just-
it.
And you just do the.
I work on an hourly rate.
Yeah.
Is eBay a public company?
Yes, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
How's their stock doing?
They're okay.
Yeah.
Their first quarter of this year far exceeded what was projected, so.
That's good.
Do you know where we can get, like the sort of models or something when you're taking your picture rather than putting it out on your table or on a rug that, I know people have these sort of professional looking type of mannequins or.
Okay, the seller update, eBay doesn't want any of that in the pictures anymore. They
Oh,
only want the item,
oh, really?
yeah,
That makes it easier for me.
yeah. Yeah,
In your class, do you talk about photography techniques?
yes,
How to, angle it and,
right.
because I've read, like, don't put something out in your, dirty driveway,
Yeah, or you'd be surprised what people used to put stuff up on eBay.
Yeah.
There was a guy that years ago, and this picture went around the world, I don't know how many thousands of times. He was selling a chrome toaster, and there was a picture of him in the toaster, and he was naked.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
Or you can see another person naked in the reflection of the
In the
mirror.
reflection
Yeah,
of
but
the-
he's taking a picture of a dining room table or
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
So,
So,
but-
wait, so are you saying that you can't, like, if you had a piece of clothing and you can't, like, put it on a mannequin?
Yes, you can put it on a mannequin, but you don't put it with a palm tree in the background and flowers and,
But you can use something to, like, prop it up, right, like.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you had a
yeah.
jacket, you
Oh, so
could
you
Right.
can do this.
So, yeah.
yeah.
You can stage it.
So where do you get a mannequin?
Now, listen, I don't want anybody to get excited, I know you got, I have something I want to give to everybody.
Uh-oh. A mannequin?
No,
Thank you.
A dum-dum.
You get the dum-dums. Thank you.
pass these
Just
to
remember, there's always a bigger dum-dum.
No?
There's no choice.
Thank you very much, that was very
Okay,
interesting.
all right.
In your class, do you go over, do you do any simulated, stuff? Do you actually put through either a real or a simulated posting?
No.
No, you don't do that?
No.
Okay. That would be good. Okay.
What I've done is on the Learning Connection is 2 consecutive, usually Friday evenings, 2 hours each.
Okay.
I then, for no extra charge, if it's available, the following Friday night, after the second session,
Yeah.
I do that,
Oh,
if
okay.
you want to come in and.
And those are those 3 locations you posted on?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not.
Production support provided by Medfield.tv. Access to our community.
Hi, we're Shonda and Kurt Schilling.
And you're watching Medfield.tv.